Group 1. Today we are presenting ash mitigation in Antigua, Guatemala for Geoscience 110 course. Here is our table of contents. First, we're gonna talk about Antigua, Guatemala. Second, we're gonna talk about hazard in Antigua. Third, we will present our mitigation plans. Fourth, we will present about device mitigation plan. And fifth, why we choose this strategy. And sixth, we're gonna show our references. To begin with, Antigua, Guatemala. It's located in the central highlands of Guatemala, and Guatemala is in Central America and is the westernmost country in the region. It shares its northern and northern-western borders with Mexico. To the northeast, it shares a border with Belize. To the east, it is bordered by Honduras and El Salvador. Here is more detail about Antigua, Guatemala.
Located 1,500 meters above sea level in an earthquake-prone area, Antigua was named the capital city in 1543. After several uprisings from the indigenous population and from resulting earthquakes, floods, avalanches, and volcanic eruptions, the capital city was relocated to Guatemala City. The city itself established an urban grid layout inspired by the Italian Renaissance, a 16th century example of how Latin city planning, which fulfilled criterion of its UNESCO preservation, as well as its Baroque architectural style seen in churches and monasteries from the Christian colonial period. Currently, it is home to a projected 60,000 people, with 82% being native-born, as well as 1.5 million tourists who visit annually.
And now I'm gonna talk about major hazards. In Antigua, Guatemala, the four major hazards are volcanic activity, earthquake, landslides, and flooding. Today I will talk about volcanic activity. So this is the image that shows major volcanoes of Guatemala. The last eruption from the Volcán de Fuego, which is the active volcano near Antigua, was in 2018, generating ash that traveled up to 15 kilometers away. The ashes covered Antigua in a layer, and because of that, they had to close the airport and surrounding areas for a week. But to remember, Antigua, they live with the money that's from tourists. So, active volcano Volcán de Fuego with minor eruptions of daily ashes is a problem. It covers the town and stops the activities. It closes the local airport, La Aurora International Airport, which means they have to stop tourism as the ash is cleaned. Also, more than that, it causes slippery ground, collapsed roofs, and dangerous to breathe in, which is bad for their health. More than that, people need to wait until the ashes are cleaned to restart the activities to live.
Howdy, I'll be discussing our mitigation technique for volcanic eruptions and the ash that comes with them. Our mitigation technique mainly involves increasing the infrastructure, which will ease the cleanup of the ash after these eruptions. And specifically, we're going to implement this around the airports because tourism is the main driving factor for the economy of Antigua, so making sure that people can come in and get out is a must. And we're going to mitigate these ash falls by hopefully putting sprinklers around the runways and just all around the airport, which will lightly spray the fallen ash, making it much easier to clean up. The ash mud substance that forms after the ash is sprayed with the water is much easier to clean because it can be cleaned by shovels or just a truck with water that sprays it off the runway, which will make it much safer for planes to land and take off because ash makes the runways slipperier, which is unsafe. And the ash mud substance is much safer than the dry ash form because it poses less risk of inhalation, which can negatively affect people's lungs and hurt them. The ash mud is also safe for the environment, so just spraying it off the runways into the grass on the side or forest on the side is safe because the minerals inside the ash will actually help the environment. So our mitigation technique is installing sprinklers, which will ease the cleanup and make it much more efficient after these eruptions.
Now we will talk about our device mitigation plan.
I'm Javier Moreno, and I'm going to discuss another mitigation idea we thought would be useful for volcanic ash. This technique is to ensure evacuation and safety of locals are done in time when the chances of an eruption are high and when ash has finished falling for cleanup to begin. We would place a device on a drone and use said drone that would routinely fly close to Volcan de Fuego. The device would act similar to a carbon monoxide detector you may have in your house. Ours would detect silica, which is a compound that volcanic ash is very rich in. There would be an electrochemical sensor, meaning electrodes in a chemical solution would create a reaction when a significant amount of a specific compound gets into the device, triggering an alarm that would be sent to authorities back in Antigua. The drone would also have flashing lights on the drone so that if large amounts are detected at night, the light would also alert officials. This device also allows the public to learn when the ash has finished falling. A common problem in ash cleanup is beginning when the ash deposits may still occur, which wastes time and resources.
Now we will explain about why this strategy we decided to use.
Antigua's economic landscape is heavily reliant on tourism, constituting a significant 60% of its GDP and contributing 40% to overall investments. This sector serves as the lifeblood of the nation, playing a pivotal role in driving economic growth, providing employment, and sustaining various related industries. The reliance on tourism makes the functionality of the airport a critical factor in ensuring a steady influx of visitors and maintaining the economic vitality of Antigua. The potential disruption caused by volcanic ash can bring the tourism industry to a standstill. If the airport becomes inoperable due to ashfall, the flow of tourists is severely impeded, leading to a significant economic setback. In this context, the efficiency of ash cleanup processes emerges as a crucial factor in the recovery of Antigua's economy following volcanic events. A swift and effective cleanup ensures that the town can resume normal operations promptly, minimizing the downtime that could otherwise have a detrimental impact on businesses, employment, and overall economic activity.
And here are our references that we used for this presentation. And thank you so much for your time and attention.